One. Here we go, people. Alright, guys. We are back once again with another My Thoughts video.
That's right. We back again.
And today, we're going to be doing a My Thoughts on the Dark Side of the Ring Plane Ride from Hell episode.
Oh, crap.
Which was, wow.
Yeah, that's the best way of saying it, bro, is wow, because it was pretty damn trippy.
Yeah, what's trippy is the fact that, okay, like it was about 20 years ago, a couple wrestlers get fired. Here we are, like 20 years later, a couple wrestlers get in trouble because of it now.
Yeah, it's like, okay, like, how is that possible? How can somebody, I mean, I can understand if you did a serious crime, like 20 years ago, like if you committed murder or something like that.
Right.
But them dragging up something like Ric Flair exposing himself to a flight attendant and stuff, it's like, okay, we already knew about that. The case was already settled.
Right.
Why bring it back up 20 years later?
Well, that's what Dark Side of the Ring does. They bring up, older stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I can understand that, but I'm talking about, like, the wrestling companies, like, they're talking about, like, completely banning Ric Flair from wrestling because of this.
Right. And, well, because according to the flight attendant that not only did he do the helicopter with his junk, but he made, one of the women grab his junk.
He cornered her in a back room and forced her to touch him.
Right. Which I wasn't there, so I can't say yes or no, but the one thing that I did find odd about this fucking shit is that Ric Flair first said, well, I don't remember that night. I was too drunk. Okay?
Yeah.
And then he says, he did a thing not too long ago saying, well, yeah, I did the helicopter, but I never forced no, flight attendant to grab my junk. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, you said at first you don't remember.
Yeah, I would, you know what, if I would have been interviewing them, I would have called them right out on that bullshit.
Yeah.
Be like, wait a minute, you said previously that you were drunk and don't remember.
Right.
Now you're saying
now you totally
helicopter.
Remember. Right.
Like, what is it, dude?
What is it? Either you don't remember, now you do for some odd reason.
Yeah.
So I don't know. To me that's kind of shady on his part. If he did make her grab his junk, his fucking ass should have been fired and jailed. But for some odd reason, she didn't want to prosecute him to the fullest extent.
She didn't want a big trial and all this and that.
She didn't want a big trial. She didn't want this thing to blow up bigger than,
Yeah, so typical WWE, do what they always do. You gotta pay her that hush money.
Yeah, he paid her that hush money. So what good was the hush money if she's out talking about it 20 years later?
Exactly.
Well, I thought it was hush money. So I thought that was odd. And then to come to find out, this woman has a criminal background as well.
Yeah.
For stealing shit from what I'm hearing and seeing online.
Yeah.
So something's off there.
It kind of lets you know she just seems like she's just in it for the money.
Yeah, maybe. But we don't know because we weren't, there that night. But it was a crazy night. But I just think
you know what? From what I heard about that plane ride, I'm glad I wasn't involved.
Yeah, no shit. There's a lot of dumb shit went on that night. And I think it's kind of odd that also, afterwards, Brock Lesnar shows his junk to Terry Reynolds. Look what happens to Brock Lesnar. Nothing.
And then almost gets in a fight with Mr. Perfect.
Right, and Mr. Perfect gets fired.
Yeah, and almost winds up trying to drive Mr. Perfect to the side of the airplane.
Right.
But he gets no repercussions from that.
Exactly. So it's just really weird how, like, when it comes to Vince's top boys, like the ones he likes the most, they don't. There's nothing that will happen to them. Like Shawn Michaels, anything Shawn Michaels does wrong, he won't get in trouble for it. Anything that Brock Lesnar does wrong, he won't get in trouble for it. It's just like the whole fucking Jimmy Snuka thing, him taking out his girlfriend. he paid the fucking cops off, so he didn't get in trouble.
Yeah, well, of course.
So it's it's all bullshit.
All his major talent. Oh, he'll look the other way for his major talent.
Exactly.
But
Just like that night 20 years ago when Mr. Perfect, when he had pulled a rib on Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar was chasing him down the fucking
and tried to, they got in a brawl, and like they were up in the air, and they were by the door that he had to pull the door off and open the door.
Right.
And everybody was freaking out because they were close to the door, he was bashing them into the side of the fucking wall, and everybody was flipping out, thinking that they were going to open the door.
Yeah, the door was going to open, and they were going to get sucked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So nothing happens to Brock then, and nothing happens to Brock now. It's funny though. Nothing happens to Ric Flair back then. He was the top boy. And by the way, WWE knew about this because they paid her hush money. So they knew, but here we are 20 years later because of this Dark Side of the Ring episode. Yeah. They're kind of like punishing him for it. I'm like, wait a minute, you're in on WWE. You knew about it.
Yeah, I know. You know what it is now? Because Ric Flair doesn't work for WWE anymore. He works. He's working for fucking AEW.
Well, I don't know about now. I don't know if they're going to win now. And look what the fuck they did to Tommy Dreamer now. Because he ran his mouth saying how he felt, he's now in trouble for that.
Yeah.
And, the thing is, though...
the thing about Tommy Dreamer, everybody's pissed because the way he was saying stuff on that Dark Side of the Ring, that he was defending
Ric Flair and making her look like...
saying he's Ric Flair. He's allowed to do that stuff. He's the man.
Yeah, but he's just saying how he feels. But if I was Tommy Dreamer, though, I would have kept my fucking mouth shut.
Yeah.
Okay, about the whole thing, because he wasn't there to see it.
Well,
he wasn't back there to see what Ric Flair did to that woman. You know what I mean?
I know.
So in some regards, Tommy Dreamer's right. He said, why didn't the woman prosecute him to the fullest extent?
Yeah.
Instead of taking that hush money.
Another thing too, that plane ride. They were saying that Vince, Linda, Jim Ross, all of them, they were all on that plane too. They were all sitting up in like the first class area.
No, see, I've heard different stories. I heard that...
that's what they said on the fucking plane ride from hell, dude.
You're right, but then I also heard that they weren't there.
Yeah, because even Jim Ross said...
Jim Ross was there, but I heard Vince McMahon wasn't there.
And he said that Vince sent him back there to quiet everybody down because everybody was getting
I don't think he said Vince. I thought he was talking about one of the guys who drives the plane, or one of the guys up there.
No, I thought they showed like a reenactment of like Vince and Linda sitting there and Jim Ross sitting next to them.
I don't know. See, now I'm confused. I'm gonna have to watch it again because.
Well, don't be confused.
Because some people were saying that Vince wasn't there.
Yeah, but okay, I'm just saying from what I heard on Plane Ride from Hell, the way they were showing it, Vince was there, and Vince was telling Jim Ross to go to the back and see what all the because he was hearing the commotion, and they sent Jim Ross back there to quiet it all down, I guess.
Well.
And that's what he said. He went back there and fucking Gold Dust or whatever was singing, and he told him to take your ass to bed or whatever.
And not just that. I watched the Hannibal TV's review on Dark Side of the Ring. He pulled up some things that the Dark Side of the Ring didn't talk about, which is Goldust's. He sexually harassed one of the flight attendants as well.
Yeah,
according to the transcripts, he showed on his channel. He says that Goldust sexually harassed one of the women, but they didn't put that on the Dark Side of the Ring episode. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you why right now. I know exactly why they didn't do it. Because his brother's big in with AEW, and if you make Goldust look bad, his brother's going to look really bad, and that company's going to look even real bad. So I think that's why they didn't even bother. Yeah, which I think is kind of bullshit, because if you're going to fucking throw Ric Flair under the bus, you fucking should throw Goldust under the bus too.
Oh yeah.
Since if he did that, you know, which I think is kind of fucked up. How certain things will make it in, certain people get in trouble, but Goldust gets the fucking. Well, he did get fired. Didn't he get fired?
Yeah,
when he was on that plane afterwards for singing and plus spitting in the fucking.
Yeah, he spit in the back of the damn seat, and then he got fired. Mr. Perfect got fired, and Scott Hall got fired because Scott Hall got absolutely wasted.
Yeah, they had to pull him out of there with a fucking wheelchair.
Yeah, and they're saying that he also grabbed one of the flight attendants.
And he grabbed the same one that Ric Flair.
Grabbed her and licked her face.
Right, and I think he went to grab her private parts and all that. But he was wasted though.
Yeah, and they said because he finally passed out, and then when it was time for everybody to get off the plane, they couldn't even get Scott Hall to wake up because he was so. And they had to get him on a wheelchair, put sunglasses on him and stuff, and wheel him out. And that's when they said as they were wheeling him out, they ran right into Jim Ross, and Jim Ross saw the state he was in, and he said he's like, I knew he wasn't ready to go back on the road yet. Because Scott Hall's always had problems with
liquor,
alcohol, and drugs, and and that when he came to WWE, Scott Hall even said in a shoot interview that he was trying to do right when he was there. He was trying to be a good boy and all this, but that plane ride, man, he said the liquor just kept coming, and it was too tempting for him. Like everybody else was partying, he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna party along with them.
Yep, and that's what happened. That's what happens. This is just a piece of what goes on behind the scenes of wrestling.
You know what? I can get why all that shit happened, because it wasn't like they just got on a plane and rode a plane, whatever, and all this shit happened.
Oh.
They said they were on a 7-hour delay to where they were the plane sat on the runway, and everybody was on the plane, and they all had to sit there for 7 hours, and just I guess whoever made the call to order fucking those carts full of liquor that for the boys, and then at one point they ran out of liquor, were demanding more liquor, and so they ordered another fucking cart of liquor.
Yeah. It's pretty bad when things get that bad. If you guys are going to get to the point where you get so drunk that you're grabbing, you're forcing.
You're just fucking drinking. It's like.
Yeah, so where you're sexually harassing, the flight attendants and whatnot, and doing your stupid shit. You probably shouldn't drink at all.
Yeah, when you're so fucked up, and you're going you're walking around butt naked with just a robe on, and you go into a back room and you're cornering a girl, making her fucking see your shit, touch it, and dancing with her, whatever they were doing.
Right.
That's the time you need to cut out. And if you say later on that, I was too drunk, I don't remember, well then you don't need to be drinking no more, dude.
No, especially these kind of guys. These, when you're at a high level wrestler, you're in high performance mode. You're really it's like running an engine all the time. These guys need an outlet, and that's not the way to do it. And you remember also when they all got off the plane, the ladies said they found needles on the fucking floor.
Yeah, they were cleaning up, and they said that they were finding So they found blood, needles.
Right. So not only were they drinking, they were doing drugs.
Yeah, some of them were doing drugs,
Right. So they're mixing the shit, which really, I would assume, would really fuck you up bad.
I forget who said it, but somebody was saying that back in those days, like that the rule was they could take pills as long as it was prescribed to them.
Yeah, that's a bad.
And these wrestlers, so because of that, these wrestlers would go to all these low doctors or whatever, pay them money to write them a bunch of prescriptions for the certain kind of pills that he wants, and it's just like, hey, they're prescribed.
Right, and then on top of that, they probably mix liquor in with that.
Oh yeah,
all the time. That's what happens when you're a wrestler. It's a life of pain. They got to do something to kill the pain.
Yeah.
So a lot of them choose, drinking or drugs or both.
Remember what Jake the Snake Roberts said in Beyond the Mat?
Oh yeah.
He said when you get into this business, even if you get in this business, even if you start off coming in and you don't drink, you don't do drugs, he said, by guarantee you, give yourself a few months on the road in wrestling. He's like, because you got to have something at some point.
Right, you got like Roddy Piper said, you got to have something to wake you up, something to go to sleep.
Yeah. Jake the Snake Roberts also said that. He's like, you got to drink to go to sleep. You got to do cocaine to wake up.
Yep.
You got to take sleeping pills. It's just like
it's high performance. Like I said, it's a wild life. I wouldn't want it. No thanks.
You know what? I've always said, like, growing up, I always wanted to be a damn pro wrestler, but
yeah, no thanks.
Now that as you get older and you realize the real truth behind wrestling, it's not just the entertaining part that you watch on TV. It's that traveling, it's
too much, man. It's only certain people can do it, and
that's why you notice. That's why you notice a lot of wrestlers wound up leaving WWE to go to these minor promotions just so they could get an easier work schedule.
Right. But Vince McMahon, he likes to drive these motherfuckers till a lot of them go crazy. Yeah. See, WWE and Vince McMahon are the main root problems here for giving these guys these crazy schedules. These guys not only have to travel and wrestle every day, but then they have to lift weights and stay in shape. A lot of them have muscles, so they want to keep that muscle tone. And then on top of that, how the fuck are they going to sleep? It's just a circle of hell, I think.
Yeah.
But this whole episode is such a clusterfuck of an episode, man, with everything that went on.
You imagine we think the show was a clusterfuck. Imagine being on that plane.
Imagine that. I wouldn't want to be on that fucking plane, to be honest.
Oh, I forgot who said what wrestler said it, but they said when you were on that plane, like everybody was scared to go to sleep because they know if you go to sleep, you're gonna get fucked with it.
Yeah, what's his name? X-Pac cut what's his name's hair off.
Yeah, they cut Michael Head because that was the thing back in the days with wrestling. Like, that's the pranks people paid. Like, if you passed out around all the other guys, you were going to get fucked with.
Yeah, that's another thing. The wrestlers got to deal with people ribbing them and shit.
Yeah.
So Mr. Perfect got let go because of it. Because they got sick of his ribs. And,
you know what they said about X-Pac cutting Michael Hayes' hair off? He didn't wind up getting fucking...
Nothing happened to him. Nothing happened to Brock Lesnar for showing his junk off.
Yeah.
And still today, nothing happens to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar could pretty much walk up and shoot somebody, and WWE say, "Oh, his hand slipped or something."
Self-defense.
Yeah, self-defense. As long as they like certain wrestlers, they can get away with anything.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, to me,
It's crazy.
to me, dude. Honestly, to me, Brock Lesnar killed wrestling. The way they just let him come back and put him right in the main event, put the championship on him, let him go sit home for fucking months on end,
Yeah.
basically hold the world title fucking hostage.
I know. It's like I said, man. It's favoritism, and they plaster
Yeah.
his fucking ass on these covers, DVD covers, like he's a demigod. You know, a lot of them. So I don't know. Anyways, it was a decent episode. I just didn't like the fact that they hid Goldust's thing where he sexually also harassed a woman, and
But
you
it's
can
still-
check that out,
still-
huh?
They still made him look like shit, though.
Yeah,
about how he,
sort of. But they didn't ruin his career like they did with fucking Tommy Dreamer and Ric Flair.
Ric Flair,
They threw Ric Flair under the bus big time.
Oh, I know.
And Tommy Dreamer should have kept his mouth shut, so now he's in trouble for it.
They said
And,
Tommy Dreamer even got in trouble for mentioning about his hair on fucking, because he said he's like yeah, I know people are gonna talk shit about my hair because I'm 50 years old and I have a double ponytail. Why? Because that's my choice.
exactly.
And
People get upset over anything these days.
Everybody's so fucking butthurt nowadays, man. Like,
It's crazy. But you know what? If you guys want to check that out on the Hannibal TV, you can check out his review. He talks about Goldust and whatnot as far as the transcripts go. So, and he shows that Goldust did harass one of the flight attendants or sexually harass and whatnot. So I don't know. Nobody's talking about Scott Hall though. It doesn't seem like after what he did.
yeah, basically,
He sexually harassed a woman too.
Yeah, no, I mean, he didn't do that. I mean, that
Right.
bad. He said he just grabbed her and licked her face.
Yeah,
at
but
one
that's
point.
not
Oh, I
good at all.
know. I mean, yeah,
He'd be in fucking jail for that.
but I'm saying, look,
Yeah.
I mean, he did get fired for it. So
Yeah, but I'm talking about like right now. They're not doing nothing towards him now for it, but they're
Yeah.
gonna fuck with
Oh,
Ric
okay,
Flair
they-
and Tommy Dreamer.
yeah, but they're not gonna fuck with Scott Hall because he's basically a nobody nowadays.
Yeah, Ric Flair is still irrelevant. And,
Yeah, so is Tommy Dreamer.
and so is Tommy Dreamer. So let's go ahead and tarnish the both of them. Even though a few things I agree with Tommy Dreamer, but the rest of it, I think he should have just kept his mouth shut. He wasn't there, and he did apologize for it. But still, man, it's like the damage is done. And if I was the guys over at Dark Side of the Ring, they probably should just wrap it up now and not do any more seasons, because these wrestlers are not going to come on their show if they're going to, end up fucking losing their careers and shit over it.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't know.
crazy.
Man.
So this might be the last season of Dark Side of the Ring, or I mean, who knows? But I do love that show. It's just
I do too, because I mean, a lot of the shit they talk about on Dark Side of the Ring is like a lot of the stuff they talk about, like Macho Man and Elizabeth. I mean, growing up watching Macho Man and Elizabeth,
Right.
and remembering a lot of these events, like the Montreal Screw Job, and
right.
then now hearing people coming out and actually saying like what was really truly going on
Behind the scenes.
like basically like Macho Man saying that he was like overprotective of Elizabeth. And,
Oh yeah, I know he was hardcore, man.
yeah, and I mean, just like the Montreal Screw Job, you hear about like all the people like finally coming out and saying like some people who said that didn't know what was going on, now saying like, oh yeah, we were totally in on it.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, let's we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. It's over 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And
We don't want to sit here and
blabbermouth all day long about it.
Yeah, and keep boring everybody.
Yeah. So just our thoughts on it. In the future, I want to do more my thoughts on the rest of season 3, Dark Side of the Ring, but they keep every time they put them up on YouTube, they keep getting taken off. So, which sucks.
So it's like you gotta basically catch it right when they air it.
Yeah, right when somebody posts it or something. So, but we'll try. I know there's the Brian Pillman one that was actually released by Vice, so we can do that one in the future.
Yeah.
In the future, sometime. So, anyways, we're gonna wrap this one up. And
yeah, man.
That's our thoughts on the Dark Side of the Ring plane ride from hell episode. Just people get in trouble 20 years ago. People get in trouble 20 years later.
Hell yeah! And just like you said earlier, it's a clusterfuck.
Yeah, it's just a mess, man. I just don't like the fact that like certain people can get away with things because they're the WWE's favorites and others can't. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, and now that, like you said, now that they're not even with WWE, let's trash them now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyways,
I hear you on that one.
we're done with this. I'm out of here.
We out, people. Catch you on the next go around.
Yep, have a kick-ass day.